Nefertiti was one of the most influential and mysterious women of ancient Egypt, living approximately 3,400 years ago. She was the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten and had a significant impact on his religious and political reforms. Welcome to the channel for interesting documentaries, where today I will tell you about the life of Queen Nefertiti. If you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss the latest video. And now, enjoy watching. Nefertiti is known as the wife of the Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten during the 18th dynasty. Very little is known about her family origins, so there is little to tell about her. However, Nefertiti's name, meaning the most beautiful of those who has arrived, suggests that Nefertiti may have come from somewhere else. It is known during the time of Amenhotep III, about 300 Mitannian women from northwestern Mesopotamia were brought to Egypt to join the king's harem as a friendly gesture from the neighboring empire. Allegedly, Nefertiti, who arrived with this group, was the daughter of a Western ruler who was married off to the elderly Egyptian pharaoh Amenhotep III when she was still young. However, the husband quickly died, and Nefertiti became the wife of his son Amenhotep IV, who was 12 years old at the time. However, this theory lacks solid evidence. The vast majority of Egyptologists believe that Nefertiti was Egyptian. It is believed she may have come from a high-ranking Egyptian family. Some Egyptologists believe that her father may have been a high-ranking official who later became pharaoh after Tutankhamun's death. This theory is based on the fact that A had a great influence during the Amarna period in which Nefertiti lived. Nefertiti married Prince Amenhotep IV when she was 15 years old, a few years before he became pharaoh and changed his name to Akhenaten. The latter was not even supposed to become pharaoh. However, after the death of Thutmose, the third eldest son, Akhenaten took over his brother's duties. In the early years of his reign, religious changes began, which led to the adoption of a doctrine called Atenism, which declared the god Aten as the main and only god. All the temples dedicated to the traditional Egyptian gods were assigned by the pharaoh to a new and unique god, in whom he ordered people to believe. There were several theories for the introduction to such monotheism. While some theories suggest that it was driven by genuine religious belief, it is increasingly believed that this move was a political maneuver, one of the possible reasons being the intention to diminish the cult of Amun, which had become influential and widespread in Egypt. These priests were as powerful as the pharaoh himself, and the cult of Amun became increasingly wealthy and powerful. For this reason, probably realizing the growth of the cult's power and wanting to fully restore control of the throne, Akhenaten stopped the worship of traditional gods and declared Aten as the only deity worthy of worship. This allowed him to restore his authority as the sole direct link between people and the deity. This strengthened his position as the supreme ruler. Akhenaten made a bold decision by building a new Egyptian capital dedicated solely to Aten. The city was called Akhenaten, meaning horizon of Aten. The city was located between the cities of Thebes and Memphis. The city was an important landmark during Akhenaten's reign, and its opening took place in the 8th year of his reign. It is believed that Nefertiti had significant political power and may have been a regent or even a co-ruler. Despite the fact that Pharaoh had several wives, it is known that Nefertiti and Akhenaten maintained a close and intimate relationship, together having as many as 6 daughters, but no sons. The royal family suffered several painful losses during Akhenaten's reign. The second daughter, Menkaten, died just before the 12th year of his reign. During this period, Egypt was also devastated by diseases, including a widespread plague and malaria outbreak. This epidemic took the lives of 3 daughters in total. At the end of his reign, Akhenaten declared himself and Nefertiti to be true gods and demanded that they to be worshipped as such. However, after the pharaoh's death, Egypt gradually returned to its polytheistic religious practices, restoring the cult of Amun and giving the priests their former powers. Besides Nefertiti, Akhenaten had another wife named Kia, who played a somewhat smaller role. With Kia, Akhenaten had two sons, Lubnefer and Tutankhaten. The first son died after a plague outbreak devastated Egypt. Tutankhaten later returned to Thebes, and after his father's death was forced to change his name to Tutankhamun. It is believed that Kia died giving birth to Tutankhamun, although it is thought that Nefertiti herself may have contributed to this. It seems that Kia's main task was to give Akhenaten a male descendant to ensure the male royal bloodline, as Nefertiti never gave birth to a male heir. After their daughter Mekhenaten's death, Nefertiti disappeared from written records, and to this day it remains a mystery what really happened to the queen. The simplest assumption would be that she outlived her husband, but also died quite young from the typhoid fever which was raging in Egypt at the time. However, there are no clear records of her death and no evidence that she was buried in the Amarna royal tomb. Other speculation suggests that Nefertiti may have taken the name Smenkhare and ruled the throne along as queen before passing the throne to Tutankhamun. Although there is strong evidence that a king named Smenkhare existed, however the male body buried in the Valley of the Kings was identified as Tutankhamun's brother. This suggests that Nefertiti and Smenkhare were unlikely to be the same person. Nefertiti became an ideal of beauty and femininity, not only in ancient Egypt, but throughout the world, and her name and image remain as one of the most famous and respected symbols of ancient Egypt. That's all about the extraordinary Egyptian queen. What do you think about ancient Egypt? Would you like to visit there? You can leave your opinion in the comments section. And now, thank you for watching, and see you in the next interesting documentary video about ancient Egypt.